Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is the Big Girl Diary. I got a good one for you today. I did a previous video about Marilyn Manson, but as I started to look a little deeper into it, there is a lot more there than there is really there. And I'll get into what I mean by that statement. Now, Marilyn Manson, to me, is scary looking because he reminds me of Michael Myers that I said on my previous video. And he's quite strange and eccentric. I don't know if he's a Satanist or not. I can't. He would fit right in with him. I don't know what a Satanist looked like, but I assume that they look like him. I'm sorry, I had too much coffee. I had an iced coffee, a venti, with some hazelnut syrup. I should have left it alone. I just should have got a tall or a grande, but nah. I had to go full-fledged. Now, I would like to take my time and really do a deep dive into Marilyn Manson, because I think that there might be a situation to where he could be. I'm not going to give my personal opinion, so let me back that up. I'm just going to go through as far as the information that is out there, and then you make your mind up as far as what you believe it is. I'm only going to stick to the facts that are out there. I'm not going to put my opinion in besides one thing. He's weird looking. The second thing is he scares me. Michael Myers. Look, I lived on Elm Street in the mountains when Friday the 13th came out. If you look at my previous videos, I talk about that, and I even show you where I lived in the mountains in Pennsylvania. Imagine that dark, but I digress. Back to Marilyn Manson. So again, I said that this video is going to be, I believe, kind of long, so I'm more than likely I'm going to put timestamps in it. And again, make up your mind what you believe to be true. I'm just going to present the evidence or the facts that's out there. Okay, on that note, let's get to it. Okay, let's start off with Jim Derogatis. Now, he is a music writer or journalist for entertainers and music. And he and Strauss, or Strauss and Marilyn, Strauss is Marilyn's business manager, and Derogatis has like a bird's eye view of the beginning of Marilyn Manson back in the 90s, where he started to become something. So, the article states, the resulting cover story did indeed change both men's lives to legitimize Manson's emergence as one of the most notorious entertainers in the 90s and an enthusiastic boogeyman for the night. And I do remember that. Marilyn Manson coming out in the 90s, he gave me the creeps then, and he still gives me the creeps. Strauss, meanwhile, went on to become Manson's business partner, co-authoring his new autobiography, The Long, Hard Road Out of Hell. Now, this is what I found rather interesting. In a Hot Tub Isn't Robert Johnson's legendary Crossroads, and despite his well-crafted image of Manson's Isn't Satan, which I thought was quite interesting because I thought Marilyn looked like Satan. But Strauss seemed to have sold his soul to the self-proclaimed Antichrist superstar. And that's what Marilyn Manson's put himself out there as the Antichrist. He looks like it. And that was his public persona as far as being an entertainer. That right there. Over the last 14 months, a 29-year-old writer has served as a virtual one-man hype machine for the garnished goth star between the first cover story and the publication of the book. He did not follow up the news piece for Rolling Stone and wrote 17 articles that mentioned Manson for the New York Times. 7 of those portrayed the singer as a crusader for free speech. Yeah, Marilyn can be a bit out there. He can say some of the wildest things if you look at him over the years. So starting off with Jim, as we go through it, Jim, I'll leave it as that. Now, what I forgot to mention was that Neil Strauss was a writer before he became Marilyn Manson's business manager. Now, he saw great potential in Marilyn. He saw the complexities in Marilyn. But he had to most definitely get Marilyn's attention, and he did. Just as John Lando got the attention of Bruce Springsteen. John Lando came up with this great line. He said, John Lando's infamous, "I saw rock and roll and its name is Bruce Springsteen." Lando then became Bruce Springsteen's business manager, and that is where Strauss wanted to be with Marilyn Manson. And so he would do things like, he would write things like this. Midway through the article, he described Manson's concert he attended. The cops have one door barred and are videotaping the entire show, hoping to find nudity or obscenity to justify an arrest, he writes. It would be the first time it happened to Marilyn. The last time he performed in St. Petersburg, Florida, he was arrested for indecently exposing himself on stage. Before the police threw him in jail, they ridiculed him and warned him to remove his lip ring because somebody might tear it out while beating him up. Just stuff like that, and putting that out there. That was the making of Marilyn Manson. And stuff like that, it can be easily construed as that's who he really is. But we got to come along the lines of, is it really who he is? That's what's out there. But is that who he is here? Make up your mind. And I continue with the next person. Okay, now Marc Hogan is an executive writer for the Pitchfork. And he goes on to write an article called Tracing Marilyn Manson's Blurred Lines Between Shock Rock and Alleged Abuse. Now, what he does is he goes through what has been written about Marilyn Manson. And this is some of the things that he dug up. In February 1998, Marilyn Manson publishes an autobiography, The Long, Hard Road Out of Hell, as critiqued by music journalist Jim Derogatis. Remember him? In a Chicago Reader. The book depicts Manson's generally mistreating one or more women per page. The most notorious chapter, Meeting the Fan, Meet and Greet. And it's interesting how he spells meat. He spells it M-E-A-T instead of M-E-E-T. Interesting. Relates an encounter with an admiring deaf woman who gets covered in meat, has sex with multiple band members, and is urinated on by Manson and other band members. The scene is presented in the book as consensual, but subsequent critics acknowledge it as unseemly. Elsewhere, the book describes hosting women for backstage contests who can hold an enema the longest. Ugh. Now, keep in mind, he is a shock rock. Now, Madonna did a sex book, and she said when she went in and they took pictures of her face, and they had a body double that the person or the model did the pictures. So, do you believe it? They crafted his image in a way as a Satanist, as all these other things. And his business manager, created this persona of Marilyn Manson. And he got to separate Marilyn Manson from Brian Warner. So he goes on to say, Manson is involved in an altercation with Craig Marks, an executive editor of Spin. In a lawsuit, Mark alleges that Manson threatened to kill him and his family in a dispute over a magazine's cover. In an interview last year in Rolling Stone, Manson claims that he got arrested for putting a gun in the mouth of an editor of Spin. He hid from the law at Donald Trump at Trump Towers. Manson was not in fact arrested. But Rolling Stones noted the lawsuit was eventually settled out of court. Let me see where else. Then in 2001, December of 2001, Manson is sued by a Minneapolis security guard who claims that Manson rubbed his crotch against the security guard's head as well. A jury later found Manson not liable in a civil suit which alleged battery and emotional distress. Okay. So the security guard, instead of going to file criminal charges, he filed civil. Okay. In April 2002, Manson is sued for wrongful death by a mother of a woman who died in a car accident after he allegedly gave her drugs. Manson calls a lawsuit completely without merit and denied the allegations that he provided the woman with drugs. Paper later reports that the matter is settled out of court. Now, when you settle out of court, it doesn't mean that the person is guilty. Sometimes it means that the smear job or not the smear job, but what's being said about you is so egregious that some things you cannot fight. For an example, about 20 years ago, and even now, let's say a woman wants to date a guy, and the guy is not interested in the woman. The first thing she calls him is gay. Or if a woman is not interested in a man, And the man's offended, like, oh, you don't want me? What do? You call her lesbian. You can't fight that. So I'm just giving an aspect of it. Okay, so he goes on. Maryland and his security. I'm just surprised that security didn't beat the slobber knocker out of him. May 2007. Wood stars along with Manson in a sexually suggestive video for his song Heart-Shaped Glass. When the heart guides the hand. Public acknowledged that Woods is dating Manson, who is in the midst of a divorce from his dancer Davida Von Teese. The following years, Manson and Wood split. So that's when Evan Rachel Woods is with Marilyn Manson in 2007, to where he's married. Okay, I got it. Now, in June of 2019, in an interview published by Spin, Manson says he self-harms after his breakup from Wood, and that he fantasizes about hurting her. I have fantasized every day, almost smashing her skull with a sledgehammer. He is quoted as saying, his camp leader claims that he was not serious and that he made up remarks in a spirit of theatrical exaggeration. Who knows? July 2009, Manson apparently threatens violence towards a music journalist. I am far different from the soon-to-be murdered in their home press has decided to fabricate, he writes in a blog post that is no longer online, responding to a disparaging media mention. If one or more journalists makes a cavalier statement about me and my band, I will personally, or with my fans' help, greet them at their home and discover how much they believe in their freedom of speech. Interesting. And in the same year, November 2009, Manson releases a video of a song, Running Up the Edge of the World, which claims a stage scene of him appearing to brutally beat a female character who several critics note seems to resemble Wood. Okay. January 2010. Having reconciled, Manson and Wood are reportedly engaged. He proposed while on stage. Within months, they split up again. So, it seems like there's a lot there between Wood and Manson. And it continues. November 2016. Woods. She speaks publicly about the first time being raped by a significant other while they were together. She also referred to her physical, psychological, and abuse by a partner she does not name. Now, we don't even have to. It's easy to infer who she's talking about, unless if she was with him and been with other men. So, okay. Make your own mind up. And October 2017, Manson's longtime bassist, Twiggy Ramirez, is accused of grape. Manson said that he was saddened by it and knew nothing about it. And he was saddened by the alleged survivors' obvious distress, part in part ways with Ramirez. Ramirez issues a statement claiming that he has only recently been made aware of these allegations from over 20 years ago. And you see, this is hard because this is coming up 20 years ago, and it was not dealt with 20 years ago. Okay, make up your own mind. February 2018, comedian and actor Sherilyn Yee accuses Manson of harassing women and making racist comments on the TV set drama House. Manson doesn't comment on the claim. In the same month, again without naming names, Woods details experiences of sexual assault and DV in testimony before Congress. My experiences with DV was this. She says it was a toxic mental, physical, and abuse, which started slow but escalated over time, including threats of against my life and severe gaslighting, brainwashing, waking up next to a man who claimed to love me, graping what he believed to be my unconscious body. Oh my. Again, you go and you go to the police and you make charges. Have the person prosecuted. But going to Congress is where you go to make laws. Now, there are laws already on the books that deal with this stuff. But this is Hollywood. Entertainment, they do things differently. All right. August 2018. The Los Angeles County District Office says in a court filing it has declined to pursue. Okay. In a case against Manson, according to the filing, the police department filing against Manson earlier that year accused Manson of unspecified sex crimes going back to 2011. In the filing, the district attorney's office says it has declined to pursue the case because of the statute of limitations has expired and due to the abuse of cooperation or absence of cooperation, through his lawyer. Manson categorically denies the claims, calling them completely delusional. Now, that is good. I presume it was a she, went to the police and filed a police report, but statute of limitations. That's why when something occurs, you must get on it immediately. Don't wait years later, let alone 20 years later, to say something had happened to you. I mean, I do understand you go through trauma. I get it. And I'm going to leave it right there. In November 2020, Manson is asked about Wood's testimony in an interview with Metal Hammer. He hangs up on the interviewer. In response to the list of questions, Manson's UK press representative says it would be inappropriate to comment on Wood's personal testimony regarding Manson's 2019 interview remarks about self-harm and violence towards Woods. The rep says the comments and spin where Manson had a fantasy of using a sledgehammer on Evan and he cut himself
158 times was obviously a theoretical rock star interview promoting a new record and not a factual account. The facts that Evan and Manson got engaged 6 months after the interview would indicate that no one took the story literally. Okay. In February 2021, Woods alleged on Instagram in a statement to Vanity Fair that Manson groomed and horrifically abused her for years. Vanity Fair also published accounts of four or more women who came forward about the experience with Manson. Luma Vista, Manson's most recent record label, says it was cutting ties with him. Manson shares the following statement: "Obviously, my art and life have long been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrifically distorted of reality. My intimate relationships have been entirely consensual with like minded partners, regardless of how or why others are now choosing to misrepresent the past. That is the truth." And, it's quite interesting um, how people come out and say things, but they don't press charges, but they go straight to civil litigation instead of going to criminal litigation. I don't know. They call it Holly Weird for a reason. And yeah. Okay, Ashley Walters, Marilyn Manson's former assistant, sues him for sexual exploitation, and she was dehumanized. Now, what it seems like to me is that she is taking him for. She filed a lawsuit against him, which I could only assume that it's a civil lawsuit. So, what I find interesting is that. All right, let me just get into the article. It says Ashley Walters, who came forward in February alongside several other women accusing him of sexual abuse, AS, filed a suit against Manson, 52, on Tuesday. She alleged sexual exploitation, manipulation, grooming, and pathological abuse while she was his assistant over the course of a year. Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Okay, let me withhold my opinion. In her complaint, Walters, who was an aspiring photographer when she met Manson, born Brian Hugh Warner, accused the singer of sexually abusing and battering her multiple times, forcing her to travel with drugs and offering her up to industry friends. She also stated that he boasted about raping women and showed her videos of himself abusing under. Oh no! Wait. Abusing underage girls, and she said nothing. She said nothing. She's alleging. I'm trying not to get angry because if you mess with children, I'm done. I am done. I'm ready to take off the gloves and start fighting. I got a huge problem with this woman because she's saying that he abused underage children or an underage girl, and she did not go to the police. She didn't go anywhere, but she wants to sue and then bring it out. Whew. Okay. Let me hold it back in. All right. He was looking to create an environment where plaintiff was subjected to personal and professional sexual exploitation, manipulation, and physical abuse. The complaint obtained by People alleged in February Manson called numerous allegations of sexual abuse horrible, distorted of reality, and described his relationship as entirely consensual with like minded partners. It made me feel like I was his property. I just, uh, it just made me feel like a piece of meat. Walters, 37, told the New York magazine, Zines a Cut. You just put your head down and you're on survival mode. At the time, you felt isolated and couldn't go anywhere. Um, that I disagree. It's called Out the Door. Uh, I'm sorry. I'm still upset about the underage girl. In a statement to People, I remember about Manson's team vehemently denied accusations of assault. Marilyn Manson's ex, Ashley Morgan Smithline, thought he was going to kill her during an abusive relationship. Okay. It goes on. Now, Oh, Lord. Okay. Whew. Speaking to People earlier this year, Walter recalled a moment with Ashley Morgan Smithline, who opened up about alleged abuse she faced with Morgan or Manson on the cover of People. But the day the two were berated while preparing Thanksgiving dinner for him and his guests in 2010. Now, what was I thought she was his photographer? I'm confused. Okay. Both were using both were trying to cook dinner for Thanksgiving, and he had brought a couple of people over, but he was just berating both of them in front of his guests and dehumanizing us. Walter told People it was just a bad night, and I just remember crying on a phone to my family that night. I just remember being verbally attacked a lot that night. Some days we like some days were like the best night of your life, where you got to go and meet cool people and travel and do cool things. But there would be the worst nights of your life, and the next day, she added, it was a roller coaster ride. Again, I am confused about her role. She was a photographer, so she's at his house cooking dinner, Thanksgiving dinner. Okay. I mean, Marilyn Manson has money. I thought he would have chefs to do that. Okay, I don't know. Maybe he might be cheap. In a new statement, Walter admitted that it has taken her years to fully grasp that she allegedly endured in his hands. I don't understand. Hmm. Brian groomed me until I trusted him. I think we're when you're endured repeatedly, um I Okay, in this portion, you have Esme Bianco and Ashley Water. And what they say is that Marilyn Manson also abused them as well. Of course, not of course, but Evan Rachel Wood is also in this article accusing him of doing the things that she stated that he did to her previously. So, Sarah McNeely. I'm sorry, not Sarah Waters, Sarah McNeely. A model claimed in Rolling Stone that Manson isolated her from her friends and family. She said he would berate her verbally and assault her physically. And in statement to Rolling Stone, Manson's attorney denied the claims and described them as part of a coordinated attack. Now, he committed criminal crimes against her, and she did not file charges. But she is telling Rolling Stones, well, she's telling the wrong people. Rolling Stones can't help her. She needs to go to the local police station and fill out a complaint and file charges, have a trial, have him arrested, and if he's found guilty, he needs to be in jail. But telling Rolling Stones is not going to help her. Okay, Walters filed a lawsuit against the entertainer last year claiming psychological and sexual abuse, accusing the beautiful people singer in her filing of sexual battery and harassment. Now, when they say lawsuit, that's civil, not criminal. So, I mean, I find it interesting that these ladies do not file criminal lawsuits. They don't want him in jail, but they want his money. I'm trying my very best not to say anything, but it's very, very difficult. Either this article is lying and getting everything screwed up or messed up, or maybe there might be a there that is not there in these claims, in my opinion. In February 2021 Instagram post echoing the assertion in the lawsuit, she claims she met Manson in 2010 and she soon became a victim of a psychological abuse. She also she alleged both on Instagram and in her civil complaint, like I said, a civil complaint, not a criminal complaint, that Manson, who she viewed her as his property, offering her up for sexual encounters to please potential collaborators or friends. So how can he? Now, what I'm not understanding is Walters, is she an employee or is she a love interest? I don't get it. I'm confused. I don't know what her role is. So Manson denied the allegation contained in Walters' lawsuit. According to reporting from NBC News, the judge in the case earlier this year ordered Walters to amend her complaint in response to the request from Manson's attorney to dismiss the case based on the statute of limitations. The amended complaint must be made by March 11th of 2022. Interesting, interesting. Huh. That is interesting. So why would Marilyn Manson's lawyers have to? Well, I guess we have to say to the judge. Okay. Game of Thrones actor Esme Bianco also filed a lawsuit in 2021 accusing the singer of constant abuse. She claimed that in 2009, Manson flew her out to Los Angeles under the premise of her starring in a music video, but instead, according to Bianco legal filing, she kept her he kept her disoriented with drugs, alcohol, and starvation for days. She went on and claimed that he exposed her to violent outbursts and that he beat her with a whip and gave her electric shock. What? Okay. You know, I gotta take it back. I thought Amber Heard was outrageous with her turd in a bed and all the other things. Okay. In court records, Manson responded by arguing that Bianco's case is barred by the statute of limitation and characterizing her allegations as untrue, meritless, and a key component of the exploit of the Me Too movement. However, in October 2022, the judge denied Manson's motion to dismiss Bianco's case. Interesting. Just days after Wood's allegation, the stylist Love Bailey claimed that Manson put a gun to her head in 2011 and she was just 21 as they were prepping for a photo shoot. Los Angeles Times reported Manson has contested Bailey's allegation, with the representative telling the newspaper he does not recall witnessing any of the events described by Bailey. And in 2018, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office declined to pursue sexual assault charges against Manson regarding the allegations back in 2001, citing the statute of limitations and an absence of corroboration. Manson has denied all allegations of abuse, rape. You know, what really got me about this is, what are their roles? I don't know if they're dating him. I just don't understand where they fit into this. So what it seems like to me, what they're saying is that Marilyn Manson goes out willy-nilly and just doing anything to any woman that comes in his vicinity of an arm reach. He reaches out, come over to my house, and keep you there for days. You do drugs and you drink, and so is he? Okay, let me stop. I'm sorry. Make up your own mind. I'm just confused. Terribly confused about all of this. It's either the person who wrote the article is just writing some outlandish stuff and not sticking to the facts. I don't know. Let's go on to the next one. Now, Marilyn Manson's ex-wife, Derogatis, she speaks out on these allegations, and she says, about the accusations of abuse against her ex-husband Marilyn Manson from numerous women, including actress Evan Rachel Wood. Manson has denied the allegations. In a statement posted to her Instagram, the burlesque performer said that she did not experience abuse from Manson, whom she married between 2005 and 2006, but added that abuse of any kind has no place in any relationship. I have been processing the news that broke Monday regarding Marilyn Manson, the statement began. To those who have experienced your concerns of my well-being, I appreciate your kindness. Please know that the details made public do not match my personal experience during our 7 years together as a couple, she continued. Had they, I would not have married him in 2005, and I left 12 months later due to infidelity and drug abuse. Abuse of any kind has no place in any relationship. I urge those of you who have incurred abuse to take steps to heal and to strengthen, fully realize yourself, she wrote. So that is interesting because, she does admit that he did drugs and clearly was unfaithful. If it's anything, he's an unfaithful man and does drugs. And she's beautiful. Marilyn, you messed up big time. But however, let's continue with the next person. I like Shaon Ozbeur. She's a card. But she weighs in on Marilyn Manson in this situation. Shaon Ozbeur speaks out on working relationship with Marilyn Manson after singer faces abuse allegations. Shaon Ozbeur has opened up on working relationships with Marilyn Manson after several women came forward to accuse the singer of sexual abuse and assault. Manson previously enjoyed those close friendships with the Osbournes and was originally set to join them as a part of the 2020 North American tour. Speaking on the talk days after Manson faced accusations from actor Evan Rachel Wood and 4 other women, Osbourne opened up knowing the singer for 25 years. We've worked with him for many years, and obviously I would know what is going on in his bedroom, or I would not know what's going on in his bedroom, neither do I want to, she said. But as far as people who have gone on all the social, going on all my socials, calling me names and things and putting pictures of Marilyn Manson and I, there's something called a working relationship, and that's what I've done with Marilyn for years. I know nothing about the I know nothing about his sexual preference or the way he treats women. I do know that he treats an older woman, which is me, and he always has been respectful. And not only that, and she goes on, she says Wood's initial allegations were made after she previously gave testimony about abusive relationships she was in during her late teens, during which she did not name her alleged abuser. So, okay. So that's interesting. And one thing about Shaon Ozbeur that if she would scream it to the rooftops. And one thing Marilyn doesn't want is Ozzy Osbourne or anybody coming to rock his knot, and that would most definitely happen. But Marilyn is a cheater. Okay. And we're done. So I'll give you my. This video has been grueling. Doing something like this is very taxing because you're looking at. Now, let me see. How can I put it? Marilyn Manson is not my type of artist. He scares me. He does. But within that, he's not only a human being, but he also is a. That right there is his public image. As far as, let's say, Rick James, he was a super freak doing wild stuff and getting high and drunk and sleeping with women for, and they were all willing. They went there, left their husbands, boyfriends to go be with Rick James for a week and give their women back. Okay, I had her, you can have her back. That's just how it was. Now, with these women here, I truly do not understand what is going on. Now, women that are employed are being physically and sexually abused, and you still stay there. I'm trying my very best to keep an open mind that is this plausible. And I'm going to keep my personal thoughts out of it, but except for one. That is that a woman, Sarah Waters, who claimed that not only did he, the photographer, the one who claimed that she felt dehumanized and he psychologically abused her, sexually abused her, and witnessed him abuse a young girl. You need, in my opinion, if she ever would have opened up her mouth, that you were present, and if this happened, you need to be charged. Arrested, charged, and tried, and hopefully jailed. One thing you don't do, you could do many things. Don't mess with children. That will bring the ugly out of me, and I don't like ugly, but you don't mess with children. And for her to even put that out there, and she never went to the police about it, everyone should be looking at her sideways. But I would like to, go on social media and ask her, is that true? And then if it is true, I stand by my word. If it's not true, and they're making all this up, whoa, I deeply apologize. However, on that note, like, subscribe. Tell me if I went, where did I go wrong in this video? I took my time, I went through everything. My eyes are like, this video is very hard to do, and it's taxing on the spirit, all on my spirit, all the negativity and the ugliness. Now, if this is true, he needs to go to jail. Forget about all these civil lawsuits. Forget about that. He needs to go to jail. But if it isn't true, ladies, you're making women look bad. If this is not true, you're doing a huge disservice to women who really are being abused, who really are going through these things and experiencing these things. I'm just putting that out there. Now, having said all that, make up your own mind. Please like, subscribe. Even if you don't like my channel, subscribe, dislike my videos, and tell me why you don't like them. But just subscribe. On that note, I want to thank all of you for stopping by. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My subscribers, passerbys, thank you. Bye-bye.